So you're watching Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Good for you. You've managed to stumble across the one decent thing that Disney has put out in like 5 years. Go on, give yourself a hearty pat on the back, raise a glass of whatever. Here's to you. A couple of people reached out to us and said, hey guys, you're nerds, right? You probably know all about this mythology crap. Yeah, it looks cool, but could you maybe explain it to some of us no imagination having ass clowns like we're 5? Sure, you fine, upstanding pillars of the normie community. Winterwolf is happy to oblige. We got you covered. But first, check out our reviews from the first 3 episodes of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Got all the little commentary bits that we usually give for some insights to some of the mythology along the way. And please, comment if you liked the video, if you thought this crash course in armchair Greek mythology was useful, entertaining, whatever. Or don't, your call. Now, Percy Jackson and the Olympians has been chock full of gods and monsters from the jump of episode 1. I'm gonna give you the bullet points on some of the various beings we've seen through those first 3 episodes, so you won't feel like a complete idiot when your cooler friends or smarter offspring bring them up. And they will bring them up, I guarantee it. First up, case file WWD 34349087, Satyrs. We've met Grover, Percy's lovable best friend, master of the consensus song, and somehow protector. Though we really haven't seen how he kind of fits that bill just yet, given his meek disposition and turn as comic relief. He's a big stretch from the origins of the satyr or faun in the old Greek mythology, where they're not so much lovable rascals and definitely more like horny goat creatures that love doing the non-consensual Olympian nasty with mortal women. The satyrs of old were typically used by playwrights as bawdy, obscene comic figures, though a lot of that reputation has been lost to the ages, as recently they've taken on more of a spirit of nature guardian role through more contemporary tales in the Percy Jackson stuff, Chronicles of Narnia with Mr. Tumnus, and a couple of other ones. The satyrs could typically be counted on also as something of a drunken master tropish figure possessing a key bit of knowledge or know-how concealed beneath a foolish and bumbling facade, usually meant there for our main character to kind of uncover the mystery behind them, and then gaining that knowledge and then moving on to the next step of their quest. Next up, case file WWD 88768543, Centaurs. Yeah, now don't get all excited. Not all centaurs are the epitome of that guy, but you do get the usual half-man, half-horse. Here's an origin story fit for Game of Thrones, regardless of which one you want to run with. You can either take the Ixion, king of the Lapiths seducing Nephele, a cloud fashioned after Greek goddess Hera, as part of a larger plot to expose his lust for Hera to Zeus. Or you could take the more simplified angle, though more disgusting, of a man named Centaurus who mated with the Magnesian mares. All of them. Your call, but seriously, what the hell was wrong with these guys in ancient Greece? The centaurs in most media are depicted as stargazers and healers with very little use for mortals. Traditionally, they can be depicted with certain barbarous tendencies, but much like the satyrs, that reputation has kind of softened over time. In Percy Jackson, centaur of legend Chiron, considered the wisest and most just of his people, serves as Percy's mentor in the world beyond that of the mortal reach. I invite you to go look into some of those barbarous tendencies. Not safe for work. Do it on your own time. Case file WWD 76854312, the Minotaur. Sure, he's got a brain half the size of a T-Rex's, but if you need someone's skull crushed like a melon caught under an M1A1 Abrams tank, this is your guy. The Minotaur, or Asterius, as the original was named, is another creature that caught a tragically bum deal. Check this out. Born from the union of Queen Pasiphae's union with a bull sent to King Minos for sacrifice by Poseidon, the Minotaur was forced to live out his life at the heart of the labyrinth near Minos' palace in Knossos. And as usually is the case in these old Greek myths, it was a life cut tragically short when a hero, in this case it was Theseus, decided he needed to up his clout, rolled into the legendary maze, and put the Minotaur down. And there's a longer, cooler, more Hunger Games style tale to be told about the ancient Athenians being required to send 7 each of their best men and women as a sacrifice in the labyrinth as a penalty for being responsible for Minos' son Androgeus. Go check that out. Again, on your own time, not safe for work. Here it looks like sadly the Minotaur got tagged into Percy Jackson's world as a low-level enforcer for Hades, the series' main antagonist. Thus far. And then we have case file WWD 00112398, the Furies. We get another healthy dose of creative freedom here, as they most definitely are not a Hades repo crew in the proper mythology. But hey, creative license, we get it, you gotta love it. In classic myth, the Furies are born from drops of blood spilling from the Titan Cronus castrating his father Uranus. Lord, what is it with everything in this pantheon being related to the donger? Anyway, most classic sources recognize innumerable Furies, but tend to focus on three primaries as the sisters. You have Alecto, Endless Anger, Megara, Endless Rage, and Tisiphone, Endless Vengeance. They've been depicted in the art throughout the ages in many forms, from totally black visages of the night to creatures resembling the snake-headed Medusa herself. But most of the common contemporary versions have them as winged avengers, bringing their wrath down on Oathbreakers and other sordid sorts. In Percy Jackson and the Olympians, we've seen one named, and defeated quite cleverly I might add, and one of her sisters whose name we didn't catch be temporarily banished. They are powerful figures in their own right, and it's a bit odd seeing them acting as Hades' repo crew in a similar fashion as the Minotaur. But hell, every story needs a villain, and this is the way the author ran with things, so that's what you got. That brings us to our final case file, going to be WWD 76854312, Medusa. Talk about getting a raw deal. Imagine, you're just some smoke show Greek maiden who gets pumped and dumped by Poseidon, and then all of a sudden, for reasons you don't see coming, shit you had no control over, you got Athena's jealous ass messing up your do, and basically eliminating the possibility for eye contact, and making sure every dickweed hero in the Republic wants a crack at slaying your now slithering snake ass. Raw deal and a half. Everybody knows Medusa. She's been portrayed in countless movies for decades, featuring her insanely terrifying appearance of snake from the waist down, writhing mane of snakes for hair, and oh yeah, that minor inconvenience of being able to turn anything that looks directly at you into stone. Classic. Much like the Minotaur, the Medusa was minding her own business, doing Gorgon stuff, when along came Perseus on his quest, and in need of an unorthodox weapon of mass destruction. He defeated the Medusa Highlander style while looking in a reflective shield given to him by the gods. He bagged the head because its awful visage retained the ability to petrify into stone any living being that looked directly in the eye. Go ahead and watch the original Clash of the Titans for more on that. Dope movie, you won't regret it. And if you really want to impress your kids, here's a bonus tidbit. Let them know that from the headless body of the decapitated and still writhing Medusa sprang Pegasus! Yay! Pegasus of all things. Yeah, in Greek mythology grand. In Percy Jackson, the Medusa plays the neutral ground card a little bit. She maintains the outcast outsider role that she did in classic myth, but here's allowed to play a little bit more agency. She's standoffish to the Fury that's tracking our heroes and seems to have quite a bit of gravitas while doing so. She then offers conflicting deals to Percy and Annabeth, though it's unclear that was for anybody's particular benefit other than hers, as she's obviously no friend of the gods. It was an interesting character in the show, played very differently than the classic myth. So those were the case files on the monsters of Percy Jackson through the first 3 episodes. Drop a like and subscribe if you found this entertaining or helpful. Let us know in the comments below if there's other monsters you want us to look into. Maybe provide a little bit of extra context and help wherever we can. And we'll see you in the next one.